Well, it's one of those go-to things for parents when kids get out of hand. You put them in a timeout, right?
That's right. Yeah. Does it work, though? We don't know. Parent coach Sarina Natkin's going to answer that question for us and save us, as you often do. Appreciate you being here. So, obviously, a very important topic for parents. Getting to the timeout is so frustrating. Is it actually a method that works?
So it is one of the first discipline strategies we hear of, which is, I think, it's why we go to it. We see it on TV, we hear about it, maybe our parents used it, but what we know now is that it's not the most effective way to change behavior because it doesn't really align with what's happening in our brains when we're upset and problems are occurring. So if we put this in adult terms, you know, Jake, you come home and your wife's like, that's it. You forgot to take out the garbage again.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Go to your room. I don't want to see you until you figure out how you're never, ever going to forget this again. Now, you're going to go up there and you think to yourself, wow, I really hurt her. I need to figure out why do I forget the garbage? No, you're likely not feeling very connected. Are you excited about her words of wisdom?
No,
not so much, right? You're probably thinking, I'll never take it out again, right? Yeah. So the same thing happens for our kids. So when we send them to a timeout as a punishment, they are not yet skilled in regulating their own emotions. And often we're in fight or flight ourselves. And so we're not going to fight our kids and we can't run away from them, so we tell them to go away. But we're missing the sort of the point in that they don't yet know how to regulate themselves.
Right.
And we're not teaching them anything different to do the next time the problem comes up. And they are learning that time by themselves is a bad thing and a punishment, right? So instead, I like to think about it in terms of a sports timeout, right? That's not a punishment. You got technicals and fouls for those.
Like a little break.
Right.
Okay, so how do
Hit the bench,
so
take
things
a
are
breather.
off track, right? We need to regather. We don't solve problems well. The part of our brain that helps us solve problems and communicate and have empathy and all those things are pretty much offline when we're really mad, sad, scared. So it's not a time we can teach our kids. It's not a time they can learn. So we want to take a break, right? So I like to think of it as a positive timeout. It can't be used as a forced thing, though, because we're trying to teach a skill that when you run into trouble, if things escalate anywhere in your life, right? As adults, we just call this taking a break when things are heated, right? Right. So we want to help our kids develop that skill as well.
Do you ask them?
Yeah. So
do you want to take a little break here? Because you say give them an option.
So at a calm time, when a problem's not happening, you want to sit down, and this you could talk to your young kids through teenagers, and a lot of them are hearing about this at school. And the idea is we don't solve problems well, we need to take a break and calm down. So if you have young kids, great book by Dr. Jane Nelson, who founder of Positive Discipline.
Jared's Cool Out Space.
Cool Out Space walks you through how to create a cool out space with your kid. And the idea that this is a chance for them to regather, them to calm down before we solve the problem. With older kids and ourselves, brainstorm a list of what do you do when you're upset? What do you do when you're mad? And so when the problem occurs, then it's like, wow, you know, we're arguing, or I see you're really upset. If your toddler's on the floor screaming, let's take a break. So then you can say, would you like to take some time in your cool out space? And if the answer is no, which it might be, I know even as adults sometimes we like to stay in it, even if someone says we should take a break. So it can't be forced, and so you need to model it yourself. And with teens, you know, honey, I want to solve this with you. I'm not calm right now, so I'm going to go take some deep breaths. I'm going to go walk around the block. And, you know, let them model it for them. So that's the more important piece.
Right.
I've been known to walk away from a situation with my 7-year-old who gets really upset about something, and instead of sending her to the room, I go, I'm going to be in my room.
You take the time out.
I do. I literally lock the door.
That's a good idea, too.
I just need like 10 minutes.
Yes.
And I'm like,
go to your cool out space.
So thinking what you're modeling for them. You're modeling that we do better when we feel better, and so we need to calm down.
So here's the thing, though. So Jared's cool out space, he's in a box, he's having fun, but often, you know, leading to the timeout, they're doing something naughty, right? So I feel like I'm rewarding them. I don't want, should I just get that out of my head?
Here's the thing is, and this quote comes from Jane Nelson, we do better when we feel better. So when we feel connected, when we feel included in problem solving, that's when we want to change our behavior and cooperate. If you got sent to your room by your wife, do you want to cooperate?
I think I have to, though.
So, but that, you know, So we want to think about.
But you're saying just wait until things cool down, then come back to the issue and say, do you remember when you threw this tantrum, and what was that about? Let's talk about it, right?
And then you're figuring out what skills does your kid need to learn, right? Do we need to work on patience? Do we need to work on you know, whatever it is, figure out what skills are missing for them. Sometimes it's skills missing for us. Sometimes, you know, there's things that really push our buttons and we need to learn how to sort of understand, you know, where they're at developmentally. But it's the idea, it's such a critical skill that we just don't want to teach that time by yourself or calming down is a punishment.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarina. Always good advice. You can read more about this topic and others on Sarina's blog. Just go to sarinanatkin.com.